of the Father? Are you doing what he says? Seek first the kingdom of God. Are you taking every step necessary to stop feeding your lust in God?
But what American leader in their right mind is going to say something that's going to pronounce judgment on the nation and identify America as the nation in defiance in these stages of judgment? Well, the amazing thing is, on the very day after 9/11, the government gathers on Capitol Hill to give its response to the calamity. So this is very significant. There's one man chosen to give the response to the nation. He is Tom Daschle, the Senate Majority Leader. He represents the Senate represents the nation, and so he is right in that position to do it. He gets up to the Senate floor, this is the morning of September 12th, he gets up and he says at the crescendo of his speech, after he presents America's response, he says, there is a word from Isaiah that I think speaks to all of us
at times like this. The bricks have fallen down, but we will rebuild with dressed stone. The fig trees have been felled, but we will replace them with cedars. That is what we will do. We will rebuild.
And he has no idea when he speaks. I mean, it's like...
Well, in June, a temple of Baal is going to be recreated in Times Square, New York. Is that something to be concerned about? I mean, it concerns me.
I think it's something that we have to be extraordinarily concerned about.
To me, I would think that the people behind this, building this temple, should be in fear of the judgment of God. Would you agree?
I think all of us in America need to raise a contested space, right? It's a space where so much is going on, and for the most part, Christianity is being kept out.
Wow. Well, how should Christians respond, Dr. Becker?
I think there are a number of things that we need to do. I think first and foremost, we need to pray. We have to stop for a moment and ask for God's mercy.
The world's longest tunnel, but the 34-mile-long railroad came at a heavy cost. 8 men lost their lives during the construction.
With a guest list that read like a meeting of the United Nations.
Well, if you just joined us, you're watching the opening ceremony of the world's longest and deepest rail tunnel under the Swiss Alps. It's officially been opened.
Inauguration ceremony included some, how should we put it, original choreography.
It's quite bizarre.
Aida Lami, do you...
She joins us now watching the ceremony. I was just saying there, Imogen, this very enjoyable spectacle. We've danced.
In an attempt to revive the Israel-Palestinian peace process.
It's considered one of the world's longest-running conflicts.
This initiative has only one purpose: peace in the Middle East.
Hollande made the comments during the Israeli-Palestinian peace meeting in the capital, Paris. France is hosting the peace talks. This is an initial meeting between foreign ministers from a range of countries, including the United States.
And its suburbs are underwater. The Seine River is nearing its highest level in 3 decades. The Louvre Museum is closed.
And we're now seeing that this is breaking records since the late 19th century.
It scared me terribly. I was really panicked. I've never seen this in my life, and it's shocking.
Jet crashed immediately after a flyover at a graduation ceremony where President Obama spoke.
In an extraordinary coincidence, America's elite military acrobatic flying teams each suffered a crash today. A Navy...
CRISPR. And as you see, as you saw in that film, CRISPR gives scientists the awesome power to tinker with the software of life.
Neighborhoods. Police say the bath salt known as flakka may have been in this man's system when he attacked a Brevard officer.
When police say 41-year-old went after the officer, grabbing his badge and using it as a weapon.
That guy had superhuman strength.
His son was the guy police shot.
He thinks he's Jesus Christ.
He is very mental.
He's been in Lakeview in the pavilion, and he tells him he's Jesus and that...
Erin Cowan was behind the wheel. The mother of Cowan, who asked not to be identified, says there is much more to this story. He has been drug-free, is in outpatient treatment, but this week she noticed changes in him.
When I last was driving him to meetings on Wednesday morning, he was imagining that he was the second coming of Christ.
Arrived to find that Crystal Marshall had gotten out of her car and was screaming. An officer at the scene says that Marshall told him that the rapture was coming and that God told her to do it.
Crosstown stabbing spree was hospitalized for suicidal thoughts just a day earlier, but was released despite his repeated claims that the devil was playing tricks on his mind.
It's real. God is real and heaven is real.
She says Jesus has green eyes.
Yes, she does. She says he's got beautiful green eyes, and she says that he saved her.